Imagine the vision of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah being implemented on the Pakistan that we know of today. Imagine all of the loans given by IMF to Pakistan being eradicated, and imagine Pakistan's economy prospering. My name is Saqib Farooq, and along with my group members Umar Khan, Waleed Maroof, Amar Ejaz, Usman Hakim, we make up Team Green, and we'll be telling you about IMF and Pakistan's economy. To start things off, what is the aim of Structural Adjustment Program, which is also called SAP? The highlighted ones would be told to you. The first and foremost is to liberalize the economy. Now, liberalizing the economy is quite necessary because since the time that Pakistan has been made, or any other underdeveloped country has been made, their economies have been in a sort of a bubble and have not been able to prosper because of the reason that various aspects keep the economy revolving inside the bubble. Secondly, it would promote competition. Now, healthy competition is very necessary amongst all businesses across the globe, because if one business surpasses the other, then the others would have to be at their very best in order to keep going. Making private sector stronger. We all know that the private sectors of all underdeveloped countries, including Pakistan, have not been in a very strong light. So this would also make them stronger. Reducing the borrowing country's fiscal imbalance. Now, every country that has borrowed from IMF has had fiscal imbalances throughout the years that have gone by. Now, this program also tends to reduce that, reducing poverty. Like we all know, 40% of the world's population lives under the poverty line, and the other 20% does only gets 2 times to eat. So this would help reduce poverty as well. Increasing the exports of the country would be also increase its currency, or make the currency stronger. Making good use of the loans granted to the borrowing country, making the country capable of returning back the loans. Here are some of the controversies of the program. One of the most the biggest controversy would be deregulating the businesses in Pakistan. Now, deregulating the businesses in Pakistan would lead to not strong audits of these businesses that take place, that are across the country. And when there won't be a good check and balance, we all know what Pakistanis are capable of. Reducing the level of protection to different industries would mean that these industries or these specific organizations would go on protest that they need a specific level of production. Reducing the list of restricted import items, increasing in the level of indirect taxation, because tax has been one of the most strongest points in Pakistan's deprival of a strong economy. Withdrawal of subsidies on gas, electricity, telephone, and fertilizer, an increase in producer prices of major crops, restriction on government borrowing, and credit allocation to private sector. The World Bank did a review of the program, and here are some of the points that they jotted down. The industry has responded well to the policy reforms. That means that the industry is happy with it. A large-scale manufacturing sector had an impressive growth rate of 7.4% back in 91 and 92. Enhancement of growth by encouraging private sector, liberalizing the economy from governmental control. Now, establishment and the government, we all know what they're capable of. The consequences of the policies, according to the World Bank: industrial value grew by a staggering 6.3%. Manufacturing, electricity, and water expanded by 5.9% and 11.3% respectively. Construction activities subdued to the stagnation in public investment. Strong performance of small-scale industries was seen. Focus on increasing foreign direct investment, also known as FDI, and foreign portfolio investment, also known as FPI, had been seen. I'd conclude by saying that in order to move forward, everyone should be willing to walk alone, if not together. I'd like Usman to continue.
Thank you, Saqib. I'll be speaking about the credit allocation and new rules of the structural adjustment programs. Debt financing played a significant role in industrial development because of mainly two reasons. The first reason would be cheaper on real post-tax basis, and the second reason is avoid complication associated with equity financing. Implementation of any industrial policy depends upon credit cost and allocation to the industrial sector. Local machinery manufacturing industry and exports were heavily dependent upon the concessional fundings. The policy of concessional fundings couldn't be compensated for the competitiveness, exchange policy, rate policy, and quality standard, etc. According to the new policies, targeted and concessional financing had to be replaced by structural adjustment loans. The new credit policy acquired to phase out concessional fundings. Now, I would like Amar to continue the assignment.
Thank you, Usman. Policy initiative for foreign direct investment. The policy was started in late 1990. It aimed to improve business environment and attract foreign direct investment. The major initiatives include liberalization of foreign exchange regime. In this, the permission to foreign investors to bring in, possess foreign currency, easy access to capital market, flexible rules regarding foreign investment of State Bank of Pakistan. The point B was to export incentives were introduced, replacement of duty drawback system with new scheme, adjustments in the income tax rebate on export earnings. The point C was liberalization of import policy. Average import duty on raw material was lowered, removal of large number of quantitative restrictions and non-tariff barriers. The point D was introduction of the investment incentives. The government offers tax holidays for projects in rural areas. Government offers exemptions of import duties on imported machinery and other fiscal and monetary incentives offered in selected industries. Now, Waleed will continue.
In the last 5 years of 1990s, and the growth was only 3.22%. In 96-97, the growth for the industrial sector was minus 0.1% and was only 1.5% in 1990 and 2000. The fall in manufacturing after 2008 came about because of the change not just from one government to another in Pakistan, but from the transition from military dictatorship to democratic elected government and all the consequences related to such a transition. Other trends in the industrial sector in the 90s and after only reconfirm the deteriorating condition of industry in the country. For example, for fixed investment as a percentage of GDP is 2002 to 3 was only 13.1%, down from 19% in 92 and 93, falling gradually and noticeably each year. It was private sector investment which was the most main motor of investment in Pakistan and was almost 3 times as much as public investment. There has only been continuous drop in public investment since the 1970s, where public investment is now less than the of uh, one third of what it is on the average in 1970s. The number above reveal the stark reality that the industrial sector has suffered since the neoliberal structural adjustment program was initiated in 1998 and only after 9/11 were able to reverse the trend. We can demonstrate this link and association by looking at the numerous policy intervention on account of the structural adjustment program and their consequences on industrial output. Similarly, freeing up the price of utilities, let the market decide for prices up for gas and electricity, petroleum input, all having an impact on final product. Now, Umar will continue.
IMF conditions derailed Textile Vision 2005. So there were two objectives to this. First of all, provide soft-term loans to the textile industry, but IMF wants elimination of all such credit. With the advent of the World Trade Organization, textile industry will face more challenge in the global market due to the unavailability of soft-term loans. Second objective, enable the industry to acquire modern technology, provide credit at exceptionally low markup and fiscal incentives, but domestic banking sector has refused to do it. Central Board of Revenue has neither provided tax reliefs nor has it paid billions of rupees in refund to the textile exporter. After approval of standby agreement by the IMF, subsidies are phasing out to different sectors. Thank you very much.